So I know I'm saying a lot, but maybe just focus on two aspects.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Before you come in, thanks Zuzo for that, because I also want to know, how did he accumulate close to 100 properties already? But all of this is going to be covered from what you've asked.
Okay, yeah, so that's a very good question. You know, sometimes when you start talking, like I said, Zozo it's about the people. So if you're not asking me, I'm here to help us grow. So I sometimes find it too boastful to come and say A, B, C, D. I've done this and this, and you know, so. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about myself. So I started working in 2008, right? I finished varsity in 2007, started working 2008. And the good part is my first job I got was investment banking. What I was doing though, when I was working, is because I was working and I was adding value to what I was doing, I was getting good bonuses. And before that, when I was at varsity, and that's what we need to do. That is what we all need to do for our children. Very important. When I was at varsity, my sister used to get me books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, How to Win and Influence Friends by Dale Carnegie. So she was every single week. It was like, my sister was paying for my school fees. So she was my mother then. So what she says goes. I had no choice. So every week, one of the target was read this book she gets for me. I read and we think of how we implement it. So by the time I started working, my mindset of how I see money was completely different. And 2008, there was that xenophobic attack in Berea, in Johannesburg. And a lot of white Jewish people couldn't go into Johannesburg to collect rentals. People were hijacking properties left, right, center. The good thing is, because I was in the bank, I had access to white Jewish people. And they were complaining about their fathers not being able to go there, go rent and the rest. And I started going in there. And that's how it started. Basically, it was me being passionate about property, my mother telling me that if there's anything I must put my money on, must be on the 4 basic needs of human beings, which is shelter, food, water, electricity. So those are the basic 4 needs of human beings. Mine was shelter. So that's how I got into property. But how I accumulated very fast is because when I was a banker, I had portfolios in Zambia, Mozambique, Botswana. And I was a single guy. So every second week I was traveling. The bank was giving me $100 a day to travel, and they were still paying my salary. So when I traveled, what I did strategically is, when people from other countries come into South Africa, I host them. So I make sure I feed them. So when I travel, I also don't buy food because they're feeding me. So my $100 then gets kept in my pocket. So if I go for 7 days, it's $700 that I've kept in my pocket. When I come back home, I don't exchange that money, I keep it. When I get money, I exchange the money and I go and buy property. Xenophobic attack was a very good opportunity for me because people were selling properties for 10,000 rand, 50,000 rand, and that's how I accumulated. And fast forward, when I quit my job, I then started buying properties, and I was sharing this idea with Ndumi because he's doing the same thing. Properties, fix them up, multi-let it, redesign it, get approval. Important thing, get approval. I made the first mistake on my first property. Get approval from the municipality when you want to restructure your properties. And then build self-contained, understanding the market and knowing the future. And by Dale Carnegie saying, you serve people, you don't serve business. When you read How to Win and Influence Friends, you understand this. So when you serve people, you know the future of the people with the conjunction with the town planning. So all the neighborhoods in my area in Rosettenville, they had communal toilet and bathroom. I was the only person that had self-contained bathroom, self-contained kitchen, built-in cupboards in my unit, right? And that changed the dynamics. And that gave me the long-term goal where I was charging above market price, 200, 300 above market price, but I was selling peace of mind, right? So that is how I manage and taking care of my money, every single cent. Like I have a budget, I have budgeting strategy, the 50, 20, 10, 10 rule, meaning every single money I get, whether it's 10 cents, 5 cents will go into necessity bucket. Necessity bucket is basically paying for rent, paying for mortgage, buying petrol to go to work, anything that I need to be able to do what I do to earn more income. That's necessity. 20% is the legacy bucket. That's why I call myself a legacy builder. That money is what I save. So if it's 1 rand, let's make it 10 because it's easier like that. If it's 10 rand, right? 2 rand will be put in the legacy bucket. The legacy bucket is what I'm saving to buy properties. That keeps on going and going. 10% goes to charity. In charity, I'm a Christian, so I give 5% of that money to my church offertory and 5% to an organization, an SOS, any organization, that 5%. That charity is very dear to my heart. 10% is entertainment. I'm working for what? I need to have fun, right? So the 10% of that money is entertainment. How I blow that money, it doesn't matter to me. If it qualifies to buy a new car, then I'll buy a new car with that money. If I want to drive a Lamborghini, then it means that 10% Lamborghini is 1 million. I need to grow my money to 100 million so I can get that 10% to buy that Lamborghini. That is how I operate my life. That helps you to delay gratification because you don't have. If you can't afford it, you don't get into it. We have salaries and we think we can get into the fact that you can purchase something doesn't mean you can afford it. The fact that your salary says you qualify for a 10 million house doesn't mean you can afford a 10 million house. So that and the last 10% of that is education. So seminars like this, platforms that we are on, you've paid to be on, that's a smart thing. That's education, right? Books, education. So the YouTube channels that you watch or courses, Udemy courses that you buy, that's the 10%. So that is how I've managed to get to this level very quickly, plus the whatever strategies that you come with, because everything comes with first-hand experience. As you go, as you make, you are never too late to start anything. So that's it. That's how I manage that. Now, yeah, that's me. You see, I've gone on for a long time talking about me. You see, that's why I didn't want to talk about me. So the next part is how do you escalate, right, with the banks? And I hear this all the time. A lot of Black people say, and I'm not a South African, by the way. I have the right document, permanent residence, but I'm not a South African. So if I can do this, you can do this 10 times than what I can do. Let me let you know. You are way ahead of me. That's it. So, but a lot of people say, oh, because I'm Black, or because I'm this. That's what I get all the time. Is there nepotism in the banking environment? Yes, there is. There is. But do you want to go with that story all the time and deprive your legacy? No. So what do? You go to the bank. Like I said, we said when you buying a property, you go to the town planning office. You go to the bank. You start with the bank. The bank just want to know the sustainability of your business and profitability of your business. The only thing they care about is money. They are in the business to make profits. So the structures you put together is what's going to help you to scale up. When I started, I was very lucky. I met a white Afrikaner lady called Jackie Lamboskakny. If I see that lady on the street, I won't even remember her. But she gave me one piece of advice, because I went there and I said, hey, lady, this is what I want to do. I want to own over 100 properties. How do I go about doing this? She said, you try and run as quickly to have a business, even if it's a sole proprietorship business. Have a separate account from your personal account, where your salary goes in, and run that book so that every year you have 3 years from now, you can then get the book to buy your properties. Then you are in business. That time, 3 years sounded a very long time, but I did it. And now the business is buying properties. Being a banker, I know banks don't back. Yeah, there are two things. Let me not confuse and let me not contradict myself. We back the jockey, the guy that's running the business, but we are really giving money to the company, the assets, the balance sheets. That's what we are giving money to. But because we like you, and that's where the nepotism comes in, because we like you and because you are running efficient business, even now, even if our threshold says we can only give you 2 million, we can push the button a bit to give you 3 million, because we like you and you are running efficient business. Your business is profitable, right? And the business is profitable based on your balance sheet or your income statement. So that's where we start. We put documents in place, and therefore we can be able to be part of the beast.
Yeah, thank you, Echo. I don't know. Themba, are you answered?
You see, this man must return. He must return. You see, this one. I think what we should have happened today, should have spoken about himself. And then have other sessions where, because there was a lot there, but let me allow others also. But thank you very much. I'm really inspired.
Yes.
Thank you.
Inspired. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Molly?
Thank you. Thank you so much for such empowering session. Yeah, it's blowing my mind. And even the last presentation, the response that you were giving just now, it's just a great eye-opener for me. My question, I have 2 questions. The first one, the easiest one, we were talking because my strategy, I was talking to Ndumiso, that I'm passionate about flipping. Then you talked about market research and budgeting. So I don't want to take for granted that I understand what you mean by